How's John Michael Schmidt? How much of a concern is that for you?
I would say I don't know how anybody is, so other than he had an ankle and get an MRI and look at it tomorrow like we do normally. We'll find out more later in the day tomorrow. So there's a long list of people that got injured or had some type of injury. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a lot of people.
With Evan, is it the same ankle?
Ankle.
But the same one?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the injuries, Dan, I don't know. I just got ankle, hamstring, Achilles, hamstring, lower leg, ankle, neck. So we'll see. I'll give you the answers when I get the answers.
You obviously had a choice with John Michael as far as playing him or not. He was going to start and play. That obviously he didn't have a lot of time.
Yeah, he didn't play. Didn't play much in training camp. That's why he played. He needed it.
You were waiting for John Runyon to get back anyway to try to get your whole line on the field together. Now you're kind of.
Well, we'll see. I mean, maybe it's just we don't know what it is yet, so we'll see how it goes.
In the big picture, how important is it for you to make sure you get those guys as a group on the field at least once, right? You haven't had
haven't had them yet. Yeah, it'd be nice to.
Going into not playing, I don't think any of the draft picks. Some of the guys.
One, I think we've practiced the right way. We had 140 plus snaps of more team reps in pads than we did the year before. We had over 500 more team reps when you include OTAs and training camp than we did the year before. So in terms of the planning and the preparation, plus we practice against two teams. So that was the reasoning, Dan.
What did you see from Tommy today?
Yeah, go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. He's a competitor. Yep.
Does a guy like Cloyd do anything for himself with 16 tackles, or is that?
He was active. Yeah. Again, there's a lot of discussions we need to have tonight and over the next couple of days. We've had a bunch of them, but certainly when guys play well, you go ahead and you reevaluate and make sure you're doing the right thing. You know, again, whether that's the active roster, practice squad, all those decisions will be made.
Obviously, I know John Michael hadn't played a lot because of the shoulder, but why did you feel like he needed?
Because he's a lineman and he needs it. He needs it. You know, offensive linemen need to lean on people, need to pass block, they need to run block, they need to be in the trenches. And he's a second-year guy that, you know, we're counting on being a starter for us, and he hasn't been out there. So the guys that up front that have been out there, you know, they've had a lot of reps, and he needed to get them. Evan needed to get them. Guys that aren't out there need them. Availability is important.
In the past, you've kept two quarterbacks, but how much more likely would you be open to keeping a third, knowing that Drew's already banged up, right? Daniel does have an injury history. He's coming off a major injury.
Yeah, we've discussed that. We'll discuss it here over the next couple of days, and, you know, again, try to do what we think is best for the team.
Would you expect to keep three quarterbacks in this?
Yeah, I'd say roster decisions right now at 11 o'clock on Saturday night, whatever it is. We'll talk about that tomorrow as a staff, the next day, make our decisions. You know, we could release some people tomorrow. I mean, we'll see how it goes.
Does that mean you're still up in the air about whether Tommy has earned a roster spot?
No, I have confidence in Tommy, but I'm not going to get into roster decisions right now, right after this game.
You have any sense with Drew? Would Drew have no limitations or some limitations?
Yeah, not right now. No.
Where were you at? You said some discussion about the roster. Like, how many spots were up for grabs in your eyes tonight, or like 10?
Yeah, no, I respect the question. I'm not going to get into, you know, particulars of roster or decisions or anything like that. These guys just played hard. The guys that played, I respect what they did. A lot of them competed, you know, 60 minutes. Some played a ton of plays, and you know, appreciate those guys' effort.
You mentioned the change in practice from a year ago.
Yeah.
Do you see any differences in your team based on practicing differently through training camp?
Yeah, I mean, time will tell. So I like where we're at. I think we have good toughness, mental and physical toughness. We still have a week left to go in training camp. I told those guys in there we're still focused on the New York Giants, and, you know, we'll have a bunch of good periods. We'll have another day in pads this upcoming week. What is it? Whatever it is, the first day back will only be the 53 guys because you can't have the practice squad guys out there, so that'll be geared down. But there'll be pads and there'll be competitive periods and still things we need to clean up. But, you know, I like the direction we're going.
With Evan Neal, this was obviously his first game action. What was your plan for him? Like, how much did you want to have him in the game?
Yeah, it was some 20 to 25 plays. He had 21, I believe.
So him coming out was more
He was already going to be out. It was 20 when I asked. He was at 21 plays, is what I was told. So he was right in that sweet spot of what we talked about leading into the game.
So it was more that than the ankle.
Yeah, he was out there before the ankle. I just had ankle on here, but he was going to be out regardless.
Tommy, you got to play the whole game tonight. I'm sure going in, you kind of thought that might be the case. How well do you think it went?
You know, ups and downs through it all. Obviously, wish we finished out the 2-minute drive, with the W. Could have had a chance to win the game there, but there are a lot of good things, a lot of growing that can be made from this. There's a lot of guys in and out all over the field at all times. So, just getting a rhythm, getting a feel for everybody, and then continue to build off it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a difficult spot because you're playing with a lot of guys on the back end of the depth chart. They may not know the plays as well as you do, and there's a lot of disjointed situations that you have to overcome. What is that challenge like?
Yeah, it's a lot, but ultimately it's up to the quarterback to get it set. Whether it's getting people in right formation, right routes, and then ultimately just going out and executing. And a lot of that is on my plate. I could have definitely done a little bit of a better job with that, especially on the back end of there. But room to grow.
All right, people have been talking to you about compared last year to this year. Now you've gone through a full preseason and gotten a ton more snaps in addition to what happened last season. So as you go into this regular season, how much better do you feel about your game?
100%. I think more of it, like I said before many times, it's all mental, between the ears, just learning as much as I can because I've taken so many reps since I was, a little kid throwing the ball. Obviously, it's very different at this level, but, everything is between the ears. The more you watch film, the more you get in the room with Daves and Shea and Calf and DJ and Drew and all the other guys, and we just pick each other's brain, the more that you'll grow. So looking forward to it.
Where would you still like to get better as an NFL quarterback? What area?
Definitely not taking any negative plays. Today we had a lot of them. A lot of sacks. Some of them I could have probably avoided. Got the ball out, just throw it away, just to help the play callers just be in better situations moving forward.
As you get ready for week one, obviously there's nothing ever guaranteed. How much do you allow the roster to creep into your mind at all?
No, I'm good. I'm going to sleep just fine tonight. I go out, I give my all on the field always, and nothing's in my hands. I control what I can control.
How'd you feel you played tonight?
Ups and downs, like everything else. There were a lot of sputters. There was some really good, and there was some, wish I had a couple back. Some take sacks, could have just got the ball out, helped out the play callers and the rest of the offense be in a better situation. But overall, I thought that we did a good job fighting up until the end.
When you took off at the end there, you knew it was going to be close, I guess, right? You think you had enough daylight to get it?
Yeah, it was going to be tight. I was like, About to squeeze through there. That ball would have went into the third tier of the stadium. But, hey, sometimes come up short. Got to make it next time.
Have you talked to them about the idea of their intentions about whether they want to keep 3 quarterbacks or not?
I have not, no. I'm not.
Tommy, I just got here because I was with Daboll, sorry. But how valuable was it to get, the whole game?
It was really valuable. Anytime you get any kind of reps, whether it be practice or a game, is tremendous, especially for someone that was in my situation. But to be able to have the whole game, like before, you have so many different pieces moving in and out around you. You just got to be, as a quarterback, you got to keep that rhythm going. Whether it's new people in, new people out, just making sure everybody's on the same page, everybody knows what they do. I have to set the table before I snap the ball and make sure everything is set, and I'm going to continue to grow with that.
A year later, does it feel different? Do you feel a year wiser?
Oh, for sure, yeah. Between the years, there's been so much that has happened, obviously, last year, and then this whole training camp, OTAs, training camp, and now the preseason, I've gotten so many more reps, and I'm so much more familiar with the offense that it just helps me play faster on the field.
Alan, you've been in this league for 10 years, going on 11. You came here to the Giants. Brian Daboll said he explained what your role would be as you came here. Well, now preseason's about over. How do you feel you've acclimated yourself, and how do you feel you stand right now?
Yeah, as far as where I stand and things like that, it's not really for me to judge. I feel like I was able to make plays when my number was called. I feel like I showed up. I feel like I showed consistency. So, for me, it just was about going out here each and every day and trying to get better. Learning the playbook, learning more of the offense and things like that, which I thought I did, And again, at the same time, like I said before, for me, it was about being consistent. It was about stacking days on top of each other. I feel like I was able to do that.
Yeah, I thought you were consistent. You showed good hands like we always see. You get 3,000-yard seasons. And in the last 2 weeks, I thought you got even more and more targets in practice. And I thought that was a real plus for you.
Yeah, again, like I said before, for me, in this business, it's always about just making plays and doing what you need to do when your number is called. So for me, I challenge myself each and every day, to be able to make that happen. And I feel like I was able to make plays when my number is called. And again, for me, it's about going out there every day and trying to get better. And I feel like I was able to do that during this training camp.
Has there ever been a time in your career that you've been part of what could be a bubbles numbers game? Has that ever happened to you before? I can't remember it.
No, it haven't.
So is this different? Is it kind of weird?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't even concern myself with things that are really out of my control. I don't have no control over that. So, again, I don't even really, give it much thought. To be honest, for me, it's just about going out there, being a football player, being the best football player that I can be. And that's all I know. Like I said before, for me, throughout training camp, I feel like I was able to do that. And that's all I can control.
I remember you saying a couple of weeks ago when we talked to you in a media availability that being the best football player also means being the best teammate. And you are praised for being a pro's pro and helping the young guys in the room. How valuable do you think that's been for you and this team?
Yeah, I don't really, consider that to be at all, of value. Again, man, I want to be the best teammate that I can, because when you're around these guys for 3, 4, 5 months, you're able to create that bond and so on and so forth, so it's not a value thing for me. It's just about, whenever you're in a room like this, man, and you spend around as amount of hours as you do around these guys, any way that I can help guys get better, like I said before, on the field, off the field, whatever that may be, football, recovery, life, I try to always keep it that, because again, at the end of the day, it's numbers, it's all these other things, but we're people, and I've been in those shoes as a younger receiver, as a year 2 receiver, as a year 3 receiver, as a rookie. So for me, whatever knowledge I can try to spread to those guys, I do.
There's an awful lot of potential in this young receivers room that the Giants have right now. How do you think they can best get to maximize what they've got in terms of ability?
Yeah, it starts with, taking it one day at a time, figuring out, every time you step on that field, how you can get better. I think that's the biggest thing. Like I said before, that's one of the biggest things that I've learned in this league for me is, every time I step on that grass, I have to figure out, where do I feel deficient at? What needs to be improved? What things can I polish up on? And I think when you do that on a day-to-day basis, you find consistency.
How nice was it just to be back out there?
It was great. Just go out there, play football, play with the guys. Felt good being out there and just going out there and be able to hit somebody else and play physical. Obviously, I know I still have things to clean up, still knocking rust off. Hadn't had the opportunity to take many live reps. So it was great. A great opportunity to go out there and play ball.
Where do you feel like you're at in your NFL career going into this season? You may not be in the starting lineup for the first time since you've been in the league. Where do you feel like you're at in that regard?
I feel like I'm where my feet are. At the end of the day, I'm just going to continue to get better, continue to develop, and approach every day with the same mindset, and that's just getting better. And I know my opportunities will come. When they come, I'm going to take advantage of them the best way I can.
Evan, the last couple of practices, and now you got this in tonight. What's coming back the quickest, and what still needs to come back?
Definitely, I feel like what's coming back the quickest. Just in the run game. I'm just saying, just a lot of those double team blocks, just moving guys. The first drive had a lot of success. Definitely in the pass protection. I could say, like, when I get to my spot, just making sure I take on proper set angles and whatnot, and just using my hands and whatnot, not giving a guy a short corner. But I feel like that just comes with reps and repetition. Like I said, hadn't had the opportunity to take many reps this training camp because I've been hurt and whatnot, but just kind of feels good to go out there and do it.
How much does it help the confidence level just to be able to get game action in like this?
Can't really say it does anything for my confidence, but it just feels good to go out there and play. Like, you're a football player, is what you do your entire life, and you're sitting on the sidelines. All you want to do is get out there and play. So it just kind of felt great. I remember, like, pregame, I was just thanking God, for the opportunity for me to just step out on the field and play football again. Because, whenever I got hurt last year, like, that was the longest that I've ever been out of the game. So just to be able to come back out and play ball, it's a blessing.
So it renews a fire in you, you think?
Yeah, you could say that. I was just ready to play football, man.
So the ankle that we were told about is not bad?
Huh?
The ankle injury you suffered tonight was not bad?
I didn't suffer an injury tonight. I got rolled up on, that's football. It's a football play. Guys get rolled up on all the time. Thankfully, I was able to, pop right back up, take a couple steps on it. But, I'll be fine,
What have you seen from this O-line group since you haven't been able to play with the first team, but what have you watched them with a new coach and new additions?
I mean, the guys play great together. We have a tight-knit group. You know, we do well in the offensive meeting room together. They're doing a really good job. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know what I'm saying, it's going to take our team very far this year. I mean, I learned a lot from Carm. Carm's a teacher, you know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing that I noticed. You know, his ability, you know what I'm saying, to explain the offense, explain what he wants us to do, while also allowing us to have individuality as our own players, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel like he doesn't take the approach the way he has to, you know, change who you are, you know, entirely. But, you know, if it's something that, you know, maybe he can tweak, you know what I'm saying, to fit into our scheme of how we want to do things while allowing the player to still play to their strengths.
The competition at this spot is tough, but you have made some real big flash plays and important pass rushing plays over the last couple of weeks. That's got to make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, it obviously feels pretty good, but I've been working on trying to stay super present and just like stay in the moment and focus on what I need to do now and not really think about the big picture. Just kind of, yeah, just staying present, making sure that I'm doing everything that I need to do, having tremendous attention to detail, and just, you know, controlling the controllables.
How do you feel you've acclimated yourself throughout the course of the summer in these preseason games?
So I feel like I've, you know, tried to take the coaching from Coach Charlie. He's been doing a great job in just like finding the strengths and weaknesses of each of us and kind of molding us into the best possible player we can be. And so just really listening to coaching. Yeah, he's played a big part in my development this offseason.
Now, this was a big game tonight for a lot of guys because so many of the starters rested, and we have no idea what the bubble looks like, who's on it, who's off it, but this was a big chance to show something. How do you feel you did specifically tonight to maybe help your cause?
I felt like I played pretty loose, made some mistakes, but also made some plays. And, you know, like I said, try not to think about those things. I try to stay present and try to just control the controllables. And so, you know, we'll hit the film, we'll get it fixed. But, you know, I just did my best, and that's what matters. So.
The linebackers on this team, everybody's talking about how they maybe have to work on kickoff return units or these other kinds of things that they may have to do to try to make the club. How much do you think about versatility being an important factor for you to make it?
I think about that all the time, you know, especially with the new kickoff. I feel like that really helps guys like me as an outside linebacker, you know, bigger bodies that can move. So I'm trying to do as much as I can for the team, just whatever I need to help the team win.
We talk about the scheme all the time. Coach Bowen, the defensive coordinator, likes to rush four, doesn't like to blitz a lot. That puts a lot of pressure on the guys like yourself who've got to get to the quarterback. Do you like that kind of challenge?
Yeah, we talk about all the time, players not plays. And so, you know, it really gives us a chance to shine and really, like, compete. And we don't leave it up to the scheme, we leave it up to us. And I really like that responsibility and that opportunity.
All right, so when somebody is not a frontline starter, this week can be very difficult. Sleeping can be difficult, digesting. What is this going to be like now for you the next couple of days? Maybe not knowing 100% exactly what might happen on Tuesday.
You know, I'm going into year 3. Just try not to think about it. Just, you know, understand that you put your best foot forward, you did your best, and, you know, you let the chips fall where they may be. You know, leave it in God's hands and just, you know, control the controllables like I was saying earlier.
Well, again, you made some flash plays here during the course of the summer. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.